All right, so when it comes to pebble stones, you know, there's quite a bit of ways to go about doing this. And it all depends on how much patience and how accurate you want to get. But one of the issues with a lot of pebble stones is that these don't line up perfectly with the pattern. This doesn't actually look too terrible here, but there are a lot of makes here that are really bad. This is actually a really decently made tile. As you can see all the backing of it. This is really important. If you can't actually see the tile, then that means you're not actually bonding to the tile, you're just bonding to the mesh underneath. And when this mesh gets wet, because water will eventually get through this, then you end up with problems. A lot of times you'll see this kind of, the backing basically falling off, and then your tile's gonna pop loose. So make sure when you're looking at stuff like this, that you can actually see the tile. But what we're actually going to be doing here, just to get more accurate with everything that we're doing, we're going to actually pull off all of these pieces of stone. And one of the major reasons I like doing that, or I'm going to do that, is primarily just because these things don't fit in completely tightly. You know, you have a missing spot here, you have a bigger gap here. It just becomes very difficult to make this all look uniform. So if you have the control of being able to individually set each piece, the better off you're going to be. So let's go ahead and painstakingly take all of this off, and then we can basically piece them in one by one. All right, so the Flo FX drain. So there's two different models. The traditional type just has this little cover for it so that you can just basically pop this little yellow green thing out and then be able to just place your drain cover of whatever flavor that you use into this. So this, if you got a traditional drain cover, this would actually just would sit right in the middle of the drain, and you just raise it up to the tile level that you want with the spacers. So they have spacers. So you'd be thin setting this all in until you got it to the height that you wanted, and then you'll just simply pop out the drain after you're done and then put your drain cover in. But we're going to be using a cover that will be the pebble stone as well. So we're going to have some pebble stones, so it'll be kind of a hidden drain system. So this one, we got the gold finish to match all of our trim. So this is going to get thin setted down in place versus the traditional drain cover. Now we want to space this out, so this is just about the same thickness as the traditional drain cover. So what I would advise is at least getting this even with your tile before thin set, because once you put the thin set down, it'll be raised up just slightly above the edge here. So we're going to add one little spacer, and they come with 4 to 5 different spacers, so you can keep building this up depending on the thickness of your floor. So that really makes it nice and easy to be able to get this at the right location. So I've got some of my waterproofing still on here. Just make sure that this can sit flat down in. So then we'll go ahead and just apply some thin set on this little grate spacer, and this will mount to that drain cover, or the drain flange I should say. Okay, so press that down into place. And this is just about even with my tile. So when you just check your stones and make sure that that's kind of even with your drain cover, because once I put the thin set down, it'll be raised just slightly. And you just want to make sure that obviously water doesn't sit against your drain cover. So make sure that there's enough height for the stone to overcome your actual flange. So you can see here, it actually is raised up already just slightly, but once I get the thin set on there, it'll be up even a little bit higher. You just don't want to have any type of water hitting against the edge of this. Okay, so then on this guy, this is just going to set inside of here. So in order to We'll put some pebble stones inside of this to match what everything looks like.
We'll replace the smaller green one with the big green, or the big green one with the small green one. Oh, that's good.
You think that'll do it?
Yes.
We'll go ahead, we'll start from the drain and work our way out to the edges, just because, you know, this is obviously the main focal point. So we'll just put some thin set around this drain. Make sure that's fully embedded into place. Setting these things around the drain. So I would just use some poly sealant. You can use thin set on this as well, but I'm just going to use the poly sealant here. Okay, so once this thin set has dried a little bit, you can start using a brush to kind of push some of that thin set down and clean things up. So any area that the thin set has come up here, just push it down below the joints.